What is going on, guys? Welcome back to my HTML tutorial for beginners series. In this video we're going to talk about HTML attributes. Okay, so let's go ahead and see what an attribute is in HTML. Okay, so when we talk of an attribute is just a tag we use to provide additional information, additional data, and most of the times we specify it inside the beginning tag, okay, the opening tag of an HTML element. Okay, so if we were to put an attribute for this head tag, then we'll put it here inside the opening tag of head. Likewise, our body tag. Okay, so HTML attributes are specified at the opening tags of HTML elements. Okay, so enough of the talking, let's go ahead and implement this and see how that works. All right, so the first HTML attribute I want to show you is language tag. Okay, so to specify a language, you simply open, you see this HTML tag, the beginning of this HTML tag. Okay, this is the beginning and this is the closing. You see that? So we want to put the language. Okay, I'm talking about your language, whether English, French, Japanese. So you can specify that on top here. All right, so this document is English. All right, so we put lang, that's LANG, and then we'll hit enter, and with the help of Visual Studio Code it will pre-fill everything for us, and then we put EN to show that this whole document, the text we will be entering here is going to be what? English. I hope that is clear. You can also put -US to be more specific. All right, so that is it. That's the first HTML attribute I want to talk about in this video. All right, let's go ahead and talk about other HTML attributes. Okay, so the next attribute I want to talk about in this video is href. Okay, so we have a tag which stands for a button. So this a tag, sorry, all right, so it would look something similar to this, and then this is your button tag, and then you have a button here called click me. Okay, so let's say this is a button, click me. Now this is an opening tag and this is a closing tag. Inside the A, which is the opening tag, you can put href there and hit enter, and with the help of Visual Studio Code it will pre-fill it. So this tag, this specific element href, is an attribute. This language thing here is an attribute. Okay, so HTML tags can also take parameters or attributes. You can also call them properties. Okay, all right, so now to make this a complete link, you need to specify the location of this particular link. Where do you want to be redirected to? So let's say HTTP or HTTPS, like this, and then we want to put the address of what? Google. So you put www.google.com, like this. Okay, so this is an attribute, or this is a parameter that takes a destination, which is a link to Google's website. Now let me take you to my browser and I will see the outcome. We reload. You can see this is click me. When you click here, it will take us to Google. Okay, let's go back and look at the second attribute. Okay, so with this attribute, the next attribute I'm talking about is going to be associated with images. Okay, so I'll put img, but first of all I need to open it. So this is a tag for image, and then I'll close it like this. And images don't have closing tags. Okay, so Now inside this, we want to specify the source of our image. So to do so, you need to put source, which is src. So this src is an attribute which is going to take a link to that specific image. Okay, now inside the source, we need to pass the destination. We need to point to where that image is. In my case, I have my link inside a folder. Now inside this image folder, I have an image called coding.png. So I'll come back here and then I'll link it by first of all specifying the folder. So the folder is img / the next element inside the folder is what? The image itself. So you simply type the name of the image, but with the help of Visual Studio Code, it will display all the items inside that folder. So we'll simply hit enter, and here we go. So this is a link to that particular image. Okay, so this is what we call an attribute. Next, we need an attribute called alt. Okay, and then you hit enter. But before we put anything here, let's go back to our browser and then reload. And you can see this is the image we get linked to what in the document. Okay, so this is the image. Fantastic. Now let's talk about the second attribute, which is called alt. Now let's say our link, there's something wrong with our link, or our URL here is now invalid. Now when we go back to reload this page, the image will vanish. Okay, and that's where alt attribute comes in. So you need to put text describing this image, and it is also good for SEO purposes. Okay, search engine optimization. So you need to put text here describing that image. So what is it? Let's say HTML image. This exact text is describing our image. Should, in case the link deactivates or becomes invalid and we go back to our browser and reload, we should be able to see something like this indicating that there's an image there, just that the image link is no longer accessible or available. That's where the alt tags come in handy, and it's also good for SEO purposes. Okay, so that's the next attribute I want to talk about this video, which is the alt tag. So we have the source, which is src, and let me put my G back here. Okay, fantastic. Now we have the alt tag describing the what? This image. Okay, and when we go back, because the link is now a valid one, when we reload, you can see the image is back. Okay, so that's the next attribute. Let's go ahead and talk about another attribute, and in this case I will talk about a title attribute. Okay, so with title attribute, in order for me to demonstrate that, I will need to at least leave some line. So I need some break here. I want to break a couple of times. Okay, so like this, and now let me just put br, hit enter, br, hit enter, and br, hit enter. All right, that way anything we enter here, so there will be space for us to enter our code. Okay, and to also view our result very effortlessly. Okay, so let's talk about the next attribute. So let's put a p tag, which is a paragraph. So first of all, I need paragraph, this, and inside this paragraph I need to type some text. So I'll say this is Solomon teaching HT. Now I put basic. Okay, teaching basic HTML like this. Now this is Solomon teaching basic HTML. So we need to pass our attribute called title. So you put title here, put title. Now after putting title, let's go back to our browser and I'll show you something. So we reload and then scroll down. You can see this is Solomon teaching what? Basic HTML. When you hover on the text, nothing happens, right? Good. Now let's go back to the code and then inside the title, let's put Solomon is okay, so let's say Solomon is YouTuber. Good. So inside the title we have Solomon is a YouTuber, and then let's go back there and then reload the page. After we reload the page, let's hover on the text once again and you can see some text, and this is called tooltip. Okay, so you can see when you hover on it, you can see that there's some pop-up with that text on it. Solomon is a YouTuber. If you can see that. If you cannot see, let me zoom in a little bit. Alright, so I will zoom in like this. That's, let us scroll down and we hover on it again. You can see Solomon is a YouTuber. So that is an attribute called title, and it's very necessary. Okay, very important. So that's the next attribute I want to talk about in this video. Okay, so this video is a short one to always show you what attributes are. So attributes, actually with attributes we pass additional information with the help of attributes inside the opening tags of our HTML elements. Okay, good. So I'll see you in my next lecture where I'll be teaching you about styling your HTML elements and adding some colors. Of course, this is not going to be a detailed CSS video. I'll have separate playlist talking about CSS in depth, but not in this video. I'm only going to show you the possibility of HTML, how to also style your HTML. Okay, so I'll see you in the next lecture. If you're not a subscriber already, go ahead, do me a favor by subscribing to the YouTube channel. That way, anytime content like this is released, you are notified. I'm happy to see you all here watching these tutorials. Take care.